Hello, family. Just checking back in after the post I made about going into fasting yesterday. And as I stated, I'm going to be fasting the entire month of October. Yesterday, I did a water fast. And guys, I love you because I went to the fair and I still did not eat anything there, even though I was tempted. But I really want us to have answers. And I'm at this point of where I just want to seek God and have Him speak to me about everything. I just want clarity, and I want direction on what I should do, right? Am I like chasing a fool's errand, or God, am I on the right track? And where do you want me? So, with that being said, my Bible opened up to this page 3 times, and I did not have a marker on this page. My marker is in the book of Daniel, all right? And so that's really Him trying to get my attention, is what I believe. And so I'll just kind of go in the order of how it made sense to me. So first we have here, then the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, or then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, Hear now, Hananiah, the Lord hath not sent thee, but thou makest this people to trust in a lie. And what ended up happening to Hananiah is that he died that same year in the 7th month. And going here, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. Now the next part that caught my attention was starting at verse 11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Then ye shall call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. Okay? Then the last part is let me see if I can find it. Okay, because they have not hearkened to my word, saith the Lord, which I sent unto them by my servants the prophets, rising up early and sending them, but ye would not hear, saith the Lord. So this is Jeremiah chapter, it's like the middle of chapter 28, 29, right? And so what I gathered from this is that there are two different prophets, or those that are sent by God, those who are not sent by God, and that I will call upon God and I'm going to find out exactly as I'm searching for Him, as I'm seeking for Him, I'm going to find my answers through Him. And so there are these prophets here, Hananiah, who were speaking peace. They were saying that, no destruction was going to come. And so we see here that for thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I have put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve him, and I have given him the beasts of the field also. Right? So they're saying that the yoke was broken, right? Broken off. Oh, sorry. They were saying, that was the wrong verse, but he was saying that the yoke was broken earlier upon here. Let's see if I can find it. And Hananiah spake in the presence of all the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, even so will I break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. Right? And so you have prophets that are saying that peace is coming. And in fact, God is saying, no, I've actually given these people to Babylon, and they will serve King Nebuchadnezzar. And so from what I gathered, again, there are prophets that are sent by God and prophets that are not sent by God. It's funny how the ones that are trying to give you like a pacifier, right, saying that things will get better, those are the ones that usually, at least in this situation, those are the ones that were not called by God. God is saying, In fact, I have given you to Babylon. And what is Babylon? That's modern day America. And so, yeah, from what I gathered from these verses is just seek God and I will have my answers. And you can, of course, take this to the Lord in prayer. Now, the dream that I had last night is, oh yes, and I also found Ecclesiastes chapter 3, which is saying that there's a time for everything under the heavens, right? And that's a beautiful chapter, but very long, so I'll go to the dream. And one part of the dream, I remember I was scrolling on my phone and I saw someone talking about the rapture, and it caught my attention. And I was reading her post, and she was saying that the bride of Christ, right, is waiting. And I think this was her 7th time waiting. The number 7 was in there somewhere. And she was saying that she was going to wait this one last time, and then if not, she was going to carry on with her life. But that she was still, a child of God, and that it's okay to go through this journey, and that it's okay to close the journey if it doesn't end. Something along those lines is what I gathered from that post. And so I just liked the post. And another part of the dream that stuck out to me was that I was also watching a video. And in this video, this man was talking about how men are not gods. That men are not God. And that if we were God, we could just breathe under the water. And he was daring people, go, stick your head under the water and breathe. But you can't, because God has not designed you to breathe underwater. But he was saying that seahorses, when they're born and they come out of their eggs, they don't need to make themselves breathe under the water, right? It's just natural. It's going to happen anyways, because that's how God designed it. And so the next part of the dream was that I saw this old couple, and they were so sad because they had a miscarriage, and they're already older. And I was just sitting and talking with them for a little bit. And from what I gathered, they didn't have any kids together. And so I just thought none of them had kids. But when I saw them again, and this is way later in the dream, it was such a huge gap. But I saw them, and they were so happy, and they had a baby with them. And they were just, over the moon in joy. And I was talking to them, and I said, I was saying, oh, for this baby, just take all the pictures, like really just soak in, the moments, because I wasn't sure that they would have another kid because they're so old. And the man was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is my special child. And he was saying how he already had 3 daughters, but that this was his special child. And I was looking at the woman because I was expecting her to say something about him saying that, this was the special child, having a favorite, basically, I guess. And she didn't say anything. She was just smiling, playing with the baby. And so it kind of dawned on me that maybe this was their first child together, but that he had already had kids. I don't know. But when I was talking to them, I said, oh, well, what's your baby's name? They said that his name was Edward. And the middle name, it kind of sounded like Edward Cullen, not gonna lie. But it wasn't Cullen. It was something else with a C. But that's what came to my mind, and I was like, oh, okay, cute baby. And I believe that that's where I left at with them. And then, the not ready part. So there was this man in my dream, and it was like I knew that he was the one I was supposed to be with. Like, he was going to be like the perfect husband to me. But I had got mad at him, and I blew up on him because he had came like too early, and I was just upset that he didn't understand that I had things I wanted to do first. Like, I had to make my bed, and I was showing him around, like, look at my bed, look at my laundry, why are you here? You just like really disrupted, I guess, my plans. I wanted to do things beforehand. But he wasn't upset at me at all. He was still smiling and everything. It was like it was like nothing could make him just fall out of love with me. But so I would like to hear everyone's interpretations on these, and I will continue this fast for as long as I'm here. If I'm here past October, I might continue it a little further. I just want to get some answers and clarity. But be blessed, everyone.